to spiritual calisthenics. Christ is in our midst. Regarding Saint Macrina the Righteous, sister of Saint Basil the Great. Saint Macrina, the elder sister of Saints Basil the Great and Gregory of Nyssa, was sought after by many as a bride because of her beauty, wisdom, and illustrious birth, and in tender youth was espoused by her parents to a bridegroom of fitting nobility. When her betrothed died, Macrina refused any other suitors and devoted herself to a life of virginity, asceticism, and prayer. When her brother Basil returned from a brilliant career in the best schools of Constantinople and Athens, puffed up with not a little youthful pride, for knowledge puffs people up, it was the ardent admonitions and holy example of his blessed sister that persuaded him to turn from seeking worldly glory to the service of God. Saint Macrina founded a convent where she ended her earthly life in the year 379, and was buried by her brother Gregory, who wrote a moving account of her last days and his grief at seeing such a light pass out of the world. The image of God was faithfully preserved in you, O Mother, for you took up the cross and followed Christ. By your actions you taught us to look beyond the flesh, for it passes, rather to be concerned about the soul which is immortal. Wherefore, O holy Macrina, your soul rejoices with the angels. Since the light of righteousness shone brightly in you, you were an example of the life of piety for all, teaching the virtues to them that cried, Rejoice, Macrina, thou boast of virginity. Regarding Saint Dius, Abbot of Antioch. Saint Dius, who was from Antioch in Syria, later came to Constantinople and established a monastery there, and wrought many wonders. He flourished in the time of Saint Theodosius the Great. You did prove to be a citizen of the desert, an angel in the flesh, and a wonder-worker, O Dius, our God-bearing Father. By fasting, vigil, and prayer, you did obtain heavenly gifts, and you heal the sick and the souls of them that have recourse to you with faith. Glory to him that has given you strength. Glory to him that has crowned you. Glory to him that works healings to all through you. In God, you were armed with purity of heart and soul, and taking in hand unceasing prayer as though a spear, Father Dius, you did mightily cut down all the demonic cords, you who work wonders and signs and praise unceasingly for all of us. Regarding the translation of the holy relics of the righteous Seraphim of Sarov. The uncovering of the holy relics of Saint Seraphim of Sarov on July 19, 1903, was attended by many thousands, among them the foremost of the clergy and royalty. The Holy Tsar Nicholas II was one of the bearers of the relics in the procession, and the Grand Duchess Elizabeth wrote an eyewitness account of the many miracles that took place. Not only had the saint foretold the coming of the Tsar to his glorification, and that from joy they would chant Christ is risen in summer, but he had also left a letter for the fourth sovereign who will come to Sarov. This was Nicholas II, who was given the letter when he came in 1903. The contents of the letter are not known, but when he read it, the Tsar and future martyr, though not a man to show his emotions, was visibly shaken. We commemorate his life on January 2nd. You did love Christ from your youth, O Blessed One, and ardently desired to work for him alone. You did struggle in the wilderness with constant prayer and labor, and having acquired love for Christ with compunction of heart, you did prove to be a beloved, favored, the Mother of God. Wherefore we cry to you, save us by your prayers, O Seraphim, our Holy Father. Having left the beauty of the world and what is in it corrupt, O Saint, you did settle in the monastery of Sarov, and having lived there an angelic life, you were for many the way unto salvation. Wherefore Christ has glorified you, O Father Seraphim, and has enriched you with the gift of healing and miracles. And so we cry to you, Rejoice, O Seraphim, our Holy Father. Regarding Saint Theodore, Bishop of Edessa. Our father among the saints, Theodore, was born in Edessa of Mesopotamia at the age of about 19. He became a monk at the monastery of Marsabas in Palestine. After he had spent some 24 years there, he was chosen to become Bishop of Edessa about the year 836. The city of Edessa at that time was beleaguered with many heresies, among them the Arian, Nestorian, Eutychian, and Manichaean. Wishing to free the Orthodox of Edessa from the injustices of the many heretics, he undertook a journey to Babylon in Persia, that is, Baghdad, to ask the Persian king, who then ruled over all Syria, to use his power to protect the Orthodox of Edessa. When he arrived, he learned that the king was gravely sick, but gaining admission to him, the holy Bishop Theodore restored him to health through prayer, and after speaking to him many days in secret about the dispensation of God, converted him to Christ, baptizing him with the name of John. Returning to Edessa, having accomplished his purpose, Theodore later learned by revelation that King John, with his 3 Arab bodyguards who had been baptized with him, had professed their faith openly and received martyrs' crowns at the hands of the Persian Muslims. This was in the days when the blessed Theodora and her son Michael reigned in Constantinople. Not long thereafter, Theodore retired to the monastery of Marsabas and ended his days. You are a guide of orthodoxy, a teacher of piety and modesty, a luminary of the world, the God-inspired pride of monastics, O wise Theodore. You have enlightened everyone by your teachings. You are the harp of the Spirit. Intercede to Christ our God for the salvation of our souls. From the blessed Edessa you went forth to the desert, but you were called back again to tend Christ's sheep as their shepherd. Driving up the wolves of error with your true doctrines, you did make a heathen king a martyr for Jesus. Hence, O Theodore, we honor your blessed remembrance, O holy hierarch of Christ. St. Paul's letter to the Romans. Brethren, lest you be wise in your own conceit, I want you to understand this mystery. A hardening has come upon part of Israel, until the full number of Gentiles come in, and so all Israel will be saved. As it is written, the deliverer will come from Zion. He will banish ungodliness from Jacob, and this will be my covenant with them, when I take away their sin. As regards the gospel, they are enemies of God, for your sake. But as regards election, they are beloved for the sake of their forefathers. For the gifts and the call of God are irrevocable, just as you were once disobedient to God, but now have received mercy because of their disobedience. So they have now been disobedient, in order that by the mercy shown to you, they also may receive mercy. For God has consigned all men to disobedience, that he may have mercy upon all. Oh, the depth of the riches and wisdom and knowledge of God! How unsearchable are his judgments, and how inscrutable his ways! For who has known the mind of the Lord? Or who has been his counselor? Or who has given a gift to him that he might be repaid? From him, and through him, and to him are all things. To him be the glory forever. Amen. This is showing us that all who have fallen have the potential to come back. All have the potential to be redeemed. From the Gospel according to St. Matthew. At that time, Jesus went through the grain field on the Sabbath. His disciples were hungry, and they began to pluck heads of grain and to eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said to him, Look, your disciples are doing what is not lawful to do on the Sabbath. In other words, they are working. So by plucking heads of grain and eating them, they're technically harvesting grain. He said to them, Have you not read what David did when he was hungry, and those who were with him? How he entered the house of God and ate the bread of the presence, which is not lawful for him to eat, nor for those who were with him, but only for the priests. Or have you not read in the law how on the Sabbath the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are guiltless? I tell you, something greater than the temple is here. And if you had known what this means, I desire mercy and not sacrifice, you would not have condemned the guiltless. Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath. In other words, they are being legalistic in their interpretation of the Sabbath, the day of rest, whereas Christ is the Lord of the Sabbath. He is the one who brings us actual rest. So he points out the hypocrisy, because all hold King David in high regard, and how even the priests are not innocent. I hope that you've enjoyed today's spiritual calisthenics. Have a blessed and wonderful day.